anime cyberpunk style meets skirmish combat in Infinity. Experience 8 high-tech factions and fight to control the human sphere at the Infinity Hub on beastsofwar.com. Keep your blaster handy, the West is a dangerous place. Fight to survive as men turn to monsters and the dead rise on the Wild West Exodus Hub at beastsofwar.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Weekender.
Happy Halloween!
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Whoa, why wasn't I told I could have got dressed up?
I know the year has went so quick.
It's one of those things, we like to do stuff for Halloween, but it's just really sneaked up on us this week.
Yeah. A bit of news, we had run the Halloween Game Designers Challenge and we had picked someone, but there was an unfortunate change in his circumstances after about a couple of weeks or so into it. So we haven't got an Halloween GDC.
No!
But that's okay.
Forget that though, we do have a ghost in the shell.
We have a ghost in the shell.
Yeah, I think we need Derek Akura up in this.
Yeah. Well, can I do it?
Right.
Mary loves Dick.
Okay.
Mary loves Dick. That's what I've got to do.
I'm sensing something in the machine.
Yeah. Oh wow! You really are sensing something in the machine. We have got some creepy ghosts today.
Yeah.
This is just going mad, isn't it? It's going through lally.
This is the sort of effects I usually put into video.
Yeah.
But on purpose.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to have to see what goes on behind there. It might be Ben in the background going, "Let me in! Let me in! I want to talk to you."
Actually, Ben, I said to him earlier in the week, but I don't think he's thought. I asked him to wear a black t-shirt and find somewhere black to sit, so he would literally just be a floating head.
Do
you want to do the game master?
No, we want it's Holly.
Oh right, okay.
Holly, dude. Okay. Anyway,
okay.
I have a few quick updates for you. Okay, I just wanted to mention. Where's my camera? Here. I just wanted to mention that this week we launched a brand new Infinity show.
Myself and the mighty Carlos.
Objective Infinity. It's great. It's like a follow-on series to the demo game of Operation Ice Storm. So if you're into your Infinity, definitely check out that show because Carlos has got some really interesting tactics.
That Carlos, for some reason, is loving pulling poses at the minute.
He's
just a superhero. Yes, Carlos. Yes.
Guns. Boom. So other than that, another big highlight of this week was Lloyd and Killian did a superb live battle report of the Battle of Endor. Well, no, it was the cleanup of Endor.
Yeah.
So if you were watching along and you saw the superb Endor table. I'm just going to have to... Oh, sorry.
Right.
I'm just going to have to...
Man down.
I'll have to go in.
It's the Halloween doing the first aid. Man down.
I know I'm not wearing a costume, but you don't have to poke my eye out.
Anyway, we have the X-Wing battle report.
And it was a really fun battle. I'm not going to dwell on it too much because there is a full page that you can go watch. There's it's every turn broken up into the moves and the actions and then the shooting, and then there's a little picture to show all the movement of the troops and stuff throughout the game.
I wonder if
all done in one day.
I wonder if we'll be picked up by Kotaku again.
Well, probably unlikely a battle report.
She says no.
Yeah, unlikely a battle report.
Unlikely. But I got to pull all my moves and do all my standing around and posing in that video.
Yes, and you got to call ATSTs all the way through.
Not all the way through, just at about turn 5.
Yeah, by turn 5, Lloyd's getting so excited that everything became an ATST.
I want your Star Wars membership card.
Yeah.
I want your fan club membership card right now for that.
Anyway, remember this weekend is Dropfleet Commander Weekend. It has launched on Kickstarter. We kicked off coverage yesterday, so we are doing the 3-part little mini demo game where we're discussing some of the concepts of the game and stuff like that as we go through. And then lastly, myself and AJ launched the new show on Monday past called 40K Charted.
What the heck?
New show for Backstagers.
How do we even have time to do this?
I know. It's a new show. It's backstage, and it's a journey through 40K. So last week we had a kind of just like an intro show. We were talking like if anybody was coming along for the ride on that, and they wanted to get some tips on getting back into 40K. I was sucking all the details that I could out of AJ and giving a few bits and pieces of advice of my own from getting back into it. But stay tuned on Monday, because it's a show that airs every week on a Monday, unless there's an issue.
Unless there's a ghost.
Yeah. But it airs every Monday, and this coming Monday, we're starting a 4-parter on the gods of chaos.
Ooh.
And it is fascinating. It is absolutely fascinating. For me, it was all about, I kind of know of the chaos gods enough to be able to go, blood for the blood god, and stuff like that. But what I really wanted was a really, an in-depth look at the chaos gods and the dynamic that they cause within the 40K, 30K universe.
Yeah.
So that I could have, a deeper, more meaningful games, and scenarios and stuff like that there, and understand the whole purpose that the Chaos Gods play within the 40K universe, and more specifically within the games of 40K
Chaos
that I
Gods
get to play. Oh, it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Okay, I'll have to watch this.
We even talk about where the Chaos Gods live.
Ah.
So
do you discuss the origins of Slaanesh?
Yes, we go into all that detail, and the whole thing on where Chaos Gods live is making my mind blow with ideas for potential gaming tables and interesting battle reports where they have managed, a small team is maybe trying to fight their way through.
So you're wanting to
see if they
get
can
to a
finish it
demon
off.
world?
Yeah, it is really interesting because it's not what you expect. And that's the bit that caught me. And my favorite Chaos God during this whole process has completely changed. I now have a brand new favorite Chaos God, and I never expected it. Never expected it.
I'm gonna say Grandpapa Nurgle.
Nope.
Really? Because you could have fooled me earlier this week.
Yeah. Well, I've been suffering the pestilence this week, but I'm on the mend now.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell us, or is this something you're going to make us wait?
Yeah, you're going to have to watch the show to find out. Because
still teasing.
It really does. It really does. It came as a total surprise to me. It was the last thing I thought of, but it just came as a total surprise to me. Right. In other developments, last week, in passing, I had mentioned about how we were thinking about
it wasn't exactly in passing.
Yeah, we're thinking about getting...
It was a challenge laying down to the community, and they have taken it up beautifully.
We're thinking about getting Justin regressed.
Yeah, which I think is going to be beautiful. It's going to be wonderful and magnificent.
Because
I'm going to be scarred for life.
Because I'm convinced that Justin has only had one past life, that of Stig of the Dump. but we put it out to the community to see what they thought, and
I take it you're going to feed us some classic suggestions.
I have some classics. The respect that this community holds you in, Justin, is
nice
enormous.
Guy.
Is
I know they all love me.
Kicking off with Spamalot. He believed that Justin must have been a caveman that had an aversion to loincloths and was the first to invent headwear, a small rock held on with plentiful mud. Which I thought was brilliant. He then thought that he then went on to be reincarnated as a Roman centurion.
Okay.
Number 3,000.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, number 3,548. Not much to report, but he did trip over his sandal once. He then played an important role and was present at the Battle of Hastings as a turnip in a nearby field.
What?
which totally beats my Stig of the Dome.
Okay.
And then he was a Victorian pie maker. So, yeah. A lot of Victorian references, actually, because Cypher 2009 also thought that you lived in Victorian London, dressed up to the nines in your Volsung gear, as some kind of dodgy pimp or a leader of a pickpocket gang.
I'm sorry, do I look like Fagin from Oliver Twist?
What other ones did you find? So
there was one that Zammer 30 put in, which I quite liked. Justin spent his previous life hosting the Crystal Maze.
Well, with that head, absolutely.
It was lovely leading them from room to room, making them run and jump.
If we'd known Justin when he was 2, we'd be pretty young too. But we'd probably be able to ask him, what were you in your past life? And he'd probably tell us, because I've been watching all this creepy stuff about children when they become like 2 years old start to tell their parents about their past lives.
My daughter did that. Yeah.
Hang on, you've been watching Baby Geniuses again.
What's Baby Genius?
What's Baby Genius?
It's a really, really awful family movie where babies are actually geniuses.
Yeah.
And talk to each other.
No, it does happen. Savannah used to talk about how she had died when she was about 2, about 1.5, 2 years old, and she'd talk about how she died and she was really hungry and really sick. And
was this not the
like
little boy that kept coming to
she
visit?
she said when she always talked. No, this was as well as that.
Oh right.
She used to talk about whenever I was a grown up, or whenever I was a big girl or whatever, and I died, and then obviously at the same time she was also talking about the little boy. Who was in the house and he was
it
dead.
feels like the Halloween show. I'm getting chills.
He'd been hit by a car apparently, and he was dead. So little ones do talk about this.
Creepy stuff.
It is.
Because I've been watching
creepy.
stuff about a little Indian boy who was able to describe how he died and how his books were covered in blood, and was able to say he had this amount of money on him at the time, and the father got really interested in this, and he contacted the family that he found that exist, and they went, yes, his books were covered in blood because he was hit by a car, and he had this amount of money in his pocket and stuff at the time.
This is a little bit grim.
It's creepy.
It's a little bit grim.
There is so many weird things under the sun.
Yeah.
Is there any mothers that caught your eye?
Well, there's one from what's this last one?
Was you've Noggin Nog in there?
Yeah. Oh come on.
So what does Noggin Nog think, Justin?
I'm not sure of the pronunciation of this to begin with. So I think Justin was a junior ernch for Cleopatra. So if I've mispronounced this, I apologize.
I think you make a fantastic urge for Cleopatra.
I have no idea how to pronounce this word. I apologize.
Where is this? Oh.
So anyway.
What is it?
Well, it's an urge, Justin. It's an urge. So anyway, as a eunuch.
Okay, so that. Oh. You son of a!
He's been urging all day, and I have never once corrected him because I just was hoping that he would retain it for the show.
Okay, now that you said eunuch, respect. You said
yes. Well, a lot of these people respected you. Anyway, Tamarith makes up for it. He says, in a former life, I reckon Justin was groom of the stool. You know what that is.
I have no idea what that is. That sounds weird. Groom of the stool.
Justin, enlighten the man.
I think it's the guy that actually put the stool out for the king when he was stepping out of the carriage.
Oh, do you think that's what it means, Justin?
No, wait. He says he was groom of the stool for Henry VIII, no less. Okay. And you know what his groom of the stool influenced?
The death of Anne Boleyn?
That's correct.
Okay. This is all stuff that Warren has written down here.
So let's hear what you think the groom of the stool is again.
He's the hand of the king, isn't he?
Well, this is what Warren has written down here, so...
Again, I've had a priceless moment. I knew that when we were putting this in, I thought to myself, this is too good an opportunity to waste. So I've started putting all these facts into the wrong order.
You can see, I'm more than a little embarrassed.
He's the king's right-hand man. He's the most important man in the kingdom. The groom of the stool advised the killing of Anne Boleyn. He was a very feared man. He was just he was the guy that wiped the king's arse.
I said this to you before the show. I did say this before the show.
You said, stool is, it's got to have something to do with poo. And I said, no, he just lifted the stool out of the carriage.
That was, this is Warren's evil genius mind at work. He comes up with something off the cuff, on the fly, that actually sounds plausible. He's having a beautiful Ricky Gervais moment here.
Oh, it's good crack. It's good crack. Anyway.
Hey, before anyone says it, I'm laughing, I'm smiling. Do not jump to my defense or I will hunt you down.
Yeah, but these are all community members. Nothing to do with me.
Of course. No, trust me. That's
nothing to do with me.
Good fun.
Yeah. Anyway, that's me lot for a little bit of a warm up of the show.
Well, I'd say you have at least one or two people that have coffee stains down their front.
I have something. I have something for the groom of the stool that is the ultimate Halloween thing to have a look at.
Okay.
So if you want to take a break, a quick break, and then we'll come back and I'll show you.
Flames of War brings you the battles of World War II in epic 15mm scale. Go to the hub on beastsofwar.com to find news, tactics, and tutorials about the game. Venture into the dangerous dungeons of myth as a mighty hero and stand against the darkness. Visit the Myth Hub on beastsofwar.com and begin your story.
Yeah! What the?
It's a big black box.
We're back! Look at this. I am about to show you,
this looks really good, actually,
for Halloween, probably the finest, I suppose, the finest product I have ever seen on the market. Now, we have only just received it. It is Kingdom Death Monster.
But you should stand it up.
Oh, it's enormous.
That's a monolith.
It is a monolith.
That shot looks so much better. Cut back, Lloyd. That shot looks so much better right now.
It's it's.
My God, it's huge.
It's one of the most beautiful. In fact, it is the most beautiful product I've ever seen in board gaming. It is
enormous.
Oh, it's cool. It's got art in the back.
Look.
Oh, hello, sweetheart.
Very, very poignant piece of art.
I have been waiting for years to see this thing in the flesh.
You and about a million others, I've got to say. This is a very poignant piece of art. I don't know if we can get it in if we move it across.
No, we can't. I don't think we can get it in.
We won't get that in.
So there's.
Try there, Lloyd.
No, not a chance.
No, not a hope.
No. Well, what this is, this represents one of us waking up in the cavern of stone faces.
Yes.
You don't really know anything other than you're alive, you don't want to die, and there's a handful of others with you.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. So...
Right, come on, stop teasing me. Open the bloody thing.
Box
if you fancy, I would like to crack it open. So, oh, yeah. Oh... New board game smell. Love it. Okay, so at the very top,
What?
At the very top, you have this internal box.
That's really creepy.
Called Miniature Assembly. If you cut to that, okay. So this is Miniature Assembly, and then you open this up, and this is all the miniatures in.
Oh, mama!
Oh my goodness!
Now, if you check your running orders there, I put a few stats down on the running orders. I think there's like 17
hard plastic sprues. That's not miniatures, that's sprues.
Yeah, so if you want to see a couple of them just to get a feel for the details on these.
Allow me. So here's our first one. I believe this is one of the big wraith creatures.
Yeah.
So you've got his big flowing cloak, all the chains, the scrolls with faces coming up around here, the lanterns. That's gorgeous. Give me another.
And then you have the survivors. Look at the number of components on this
These
sprue.
things are customizable. And then some.
Now the idea is that you build your survivor, and then I'm still getting to grips with the game, but the idea is you can build your survivor, your basic survivor, and then as you progress through the game, you can add more parts and stuff like that to your survivor as they develop and gain more equipment and weaponry and stuff like that.
So as I slay big beasties, grab their stuff. So like the legs and things here, and then capes and cloaks.
Now I've got to say,
I love this weapon.
That
spike.
Kingdom Death and their Chinese partner, I believe the guys behind Wargames Factory were behind this.
Yeah.
Have produced some of the finest plastics I have seen. They're just incredible, incredible.
Well, let me just read some other stuff here. So there's 224-page rule book.
Yeah.
17 hard plastic sprues, which we're digging into right now.
Yeah.
1,000 mat game cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
400 unique pieces of art.
Yeah.
There's 400 unique pieces of art in that, is there?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, in the books and all that
In the
stuff?
books and the cards and so on.
86 full-page illustrations.
Yes, it's going to blow your mind, right? So if we're past, let me show you one of the big sprues. Now we have shown this one off before.
The Phoenix. Big and massive, and
has
the
it changed? This sprue looks a bit different.
No,
slightly. These hands look different.
I don't think it has. I think that one's pretty much the same.
So it's the same layout.
It's just incredible.
I think there might have been some adjustment to this, Warren. But the detail is absolutely razor detailed. Lovely.
You know, it's have a look at these ones here.
Yeah. What is this? This one's
just.
I just had to find the sprue that's called the Hand.
Yeah, the Hand of the King. Anyway, so that's the plastic components. You know, we will dig into this in much more detail because having seen this now,
that is a mountain of plastic.
I am utterly obsessed with this game, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Look at me as I peer into the box to try and see what's in
next?
You then have other components that are used for the actual layout of the game itself.
Just take that back towards one.
There you go. There. So I assume
you have this, which is also double-sided.
I wonder if these actually track your settlement.
That's really cool looking.
You have
Really nice.
punch out
massive
tokens.
token sheets.
Let's get them under the closest.
Now, you'll notice with the token sheets, they are practically flawless in the die cut.
Yeah, everything is beautiful on these. Are they double-sided?
Yeah, I know what you mean, because sometimes you get them and they're floppy
They're so lopsided.
to one side and stuff,
But these are all punched exactly
It's
where
one of
they
the
should
first
be.
things that I check on die cut sheets these days is to see.
That's really nice quality.
There's some more die cut card pieces.
Again,
look at
these
the
are
artwork.
well squared
Yeah.
up, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well squared up, but the actual, like Warren said, the artwork on them is absolutely beautiful.
Wait, go back. Go back.
Single-sided on that one.
Bring these faces on. Oh, creepy.
Yeah, those are absolutely lovely.
You then have the game board, which once you actually get into the story, you really
Oh, it's a
understand.
lot bigger looking than I thought it would be.
Huge.
Now, what this is this represents this kind of cavern that you wake up in. It's. Do you know what? If we take a couple of moments, let me read you through the story in the actual rule book itself, because it's worth the couple of minutes that it takes.
Where are you trying to get me to take over?
I want to show you this centerpiece of the
Right,
board.
so there and then there.
Yeah, look at that.
Isn't
That
it
is
stunning?
creepy and beautiful and wonderful. That's nice.
You then have the rule book. Do not be daunted by this rule book. Yes, it is thick, but this game talks you through the game. So you play as you learn. There's no, you have to read everything before you get started. It takes you through a step at a time. So it opens up, and it's just like it's artwork from start to finish. Now, let me just try and get this on camera. So there's a couple of bits and pieces just to get you into it. Then, this is what I want to
wake
show
up.
you. So, if you retain that. Once upon a time, there was a place of carved stone faces. A man with a lantern lay sleeping, a dreamless sleep. The man knew nothing. One day, the man woke up. He rubbed the dried ink caked over his eyes and opened them. Around him, he saw other people stirring, and beyond, a horizon of unbroken darkness. A woman approached the man with the lantern. Her soft hand reached out to him. They had no words. They were a mystery to each other.
Oh dear.
We've jumped a little ahead there.
Big jump into the future.
Suddenly, a monster emerged from the darkness, its eyes wild with hunger. It attacked. The people were no match for the monster. It tore their flesh and crushed their bones between its teeth. Some it devoured whole. Overcome with terror and grief, the man with the lantern collapsed to the ground. Cold stone noses pushed into his side. There was no escape. But the man did not want to die. Desperately grasping at the cold stone faces, he felt a crack and tore at it with all his might. A piece of stone came free. It was sharp and deadly.
Oh, he's an angry guy now.
Isn't that awesome? The man with the lantern scrambled to his feet, his weapon clenched in his fist. He took a deep breath and roared into the darkness. Somewhere in the place of stone faces, nameless men stand together. They have nothing but a need to survive and a lantern to light their struggle. And there you have it. How cool is that? Yeah, and then they all get together and they play the game. So,
Hold on, I just cut to that.
So,
sorry, that's lovely.
isn't it great? But
You went from something so dark and so serious to something.
But what?
That's lovely.
What a 10-page introduction to a game.
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't think I've ever seen anything introduce itself like that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It then gets into the mechanics, which I haven't got very far in yet. But my hope is that we're going to get together and film our way through this game.
Hell yes.
Because it's all about survivors and survival and the monsters in the darkness. It is beautiful. To show you some of the other components, I don't want to open them too much, but
perhaps we can just peer into the box at this point.
This might be the best way to do it. It's just to let you peer in. So other things you have is other cards. Okay, here you have character sheets. These are your character kind of cards where you have your equipment and stuff there, and this is kind of helpful information for running your character. You then have the larger kind of record tracking sheets for your actual campaign. There's a plastic container in the bottom, all laid out for dice, cards, everything there. And you look, 1,000 cards. He's not joking. There is 1,000 cards in this, no problem. Each with individual art. I don't know if
we can bring
that one.
So,
take that. If I can get that. Stop shining. There you go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
There's it's just incredible. As a game goes, I have never in my puff seen anything
that is
so well presented and so well put together. It's
I really like the sleek style of this game too. These blacks and greys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of games would just go overly colourful, but they've continued this sleek black box that you open and then it runs through the entire game.
Yeah.
It's one of those games, I don't know if anything ever like this will be made again. It's knowing the people behind the game, knowing Adam and the crew, especially Adam. He has this has been his dream for such a long time. He did well on Kickstarter, raised a good amount of funds in order to try and realize his dream, but has never compromised.
Yes.
The entire way through, he has never ever compromised. It's always been, what's it going to take to deliver this dream in the fullest, most perfectly realized capacity that you can. So, as a product, I wonder, do I even call it a product? Because it feels more like a work of art to me now.
I'll second that.
Having spent a bit of time beginning to have a look through it, I have never.
It's got that sheen. Do you know the way you get collector's pieces? You get a collector's miniature. This entire thing is that collector's miniature.
Is this maybe one of those things? If you were getting it for yourself, you would pick up two, one for yourself to play and one to put on a shelf and keep safe and pristine.
No, I'd play it.
I'd play it.
I would never just leave it sitting on the shelf.
I'd play it.
If you were able to get two of them.
I wouldn't. It's because you will pay for this. It is still available on pre-order.
Okay.
But you're now trickling down into your last few days of being able to get this.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe even possibly hours. I think round today is maybe the cut-off date.
Okay.
So if you want the chance to pre-order this, because there's only a limited number of these now available, the Kickstarter stuff has all been shipping out.
Right.
So there's only a few of these left. So if you want to get them from this from this quantity that is left, now is the time to do it.
Right.
In saying that, I haven't played the game yet, so at this point, I'm only talking about the contents of the box. However, at Gen Con, they were absolutely ram-packed with people playing the game, and from what we saw, and we also have a video of a demo game of the actual first mission where you're taking on the lion, the white lion that came out and tore all the
that's what I like as well,
to pieces.
I looked in the box and I saw all those miniatures, and my face suddenly went, how much do I have to build? Oh wait, no, I've got for the first mission, that's fine.
For the first mission, you have to build 4 survivors and 1 lion.
That's really cool, actually.
And then, as you progress, you build.
Yeah.
Okay, you build a little bit at a time as you progress.
Oh, that's much better, because I was like Justin, I was looking at going, my goodness, there's a lot to build.
No, you don't have to build all of that.
No, you see,
the idea
that's
is
my realization on
you and 3 friends, okay? You can play up to 6. There's rules in here for 6 odd players, but say you and 3 friends, so me, you, him, and John, for example.
Okay.
We get together, we build it, and we share this journey together as we go, and then we come back to it. But it also quite happily, if somebody can't turn up, introduce a new survivor that has been discovered, and they can play for a while, and then you can jump in and out. It's incredible just how this has been put together.
I'm gobsmacked. You know,
Incredible
we've waited for it for a long, long time.
Yeah. To any backer that was in on this, I think you'd be hard pressed not to be impressed by what has been delivered at the finish up.
Yeah.
Cool. Really cool stuff. I think we'll take a break.
Yep.
And then we're actually going to come back and talk about some of the news items and stuff that excited us this week.
Yep.
In a world controlled by massive corporations, a steady aim and split-second decisions are needed for your Megacon to complete its goals. Begin your missions at the Mercs Hub on beastsofwar.com. Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War Hub. Take command of elves, dwarves and orcs in this game of massed fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com.
Hey, welcome back. Time for the news, as I said.
Yes.
Oh,
Go on, do the jingle.
what? I don't know how the jingle for the news goes.
What the hell's been going on with the news this week?
Well,
Okay, I'll have a go.
you just make it up.
I'll have a go. The news, what's been going on with the news?
What?
That
was terrible.
Okay.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Something exciting popped up in the news, and I want us to talk about it.
I think
Yes.
I like it because
this?
I'm a terrain buff.
This stuff.
Yeah, this stuff here. What do you see? This?
Chinatown.
There's only one thing to say. Jack Burton says it's all in reflexes. Oh, it is Big Trouble in Little
Yeah.
China.
Hell
it has
yes.
to be mine.
It is beautiful.
Oh, I want it. I want it.
Okay, so we're looking at stuff from Knights of Dice. It's
Yes.
the Chinatown terrain set.
Yeah.
There's 3 different types of buildings for this range at the minute.
Yeah.
So we've got the first one.
And just look at them, for
I
goodness
know.
sakes.
It's like, oh, come on.
The Jade Kingdom. I think that one is.
I mean, we're looking at the outside of these buildings, but apparently there's interiors as well.
Yeah.
They look absolutely stunning.
The thing about this was, right, and this is why I'm like going, ah,
Yeah.
is on the way back from Salute last year, or this year,
Yes, it was this year.
we were discussing what we were going to do for Salute next year.
2060.
Yeah.
And the whole way home, it became this argument between doing Prince of Persia, which we've publicly said we're going to try and do.
But we haven't started yet, so we can't.
But we haven't started it yet because the other one we'd said we were going to do was, we want to do Big Trouble in Little China. But I said the terrain to do that was just going to be just too...
Until-
Nick and House.
Yeah.
Until
Until this. Look at it.
Yeah, it's.
Ah.
I just want some of it. I want some of it to have a play with.
I have no games with Japanese type figure. I suppose it's Chinatown.
It's
anywhere.
Chinatown. There are Chinatowns everywhere.
Tell you what, do Ghostbusters in Chinatown.
Yeah, you can do Ghostbusters in Chinatown where they stopped off to get get Chinese food on the way back after busting some
Yeah,
ghosts.
to use the last of the petty cash.
You can do Batman in Chinatown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
other super games because I can see them using superhero miniatures.
Yeah.
Pulp
in the likes of this
City.
shot.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect.
Pulp City will work well in that.
The Batman miniatures game.
You said that.
I've already said that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I misheard.
Now you've
Welcome
caught up.
to the
Yeah,
show.
welcome to the show, Justin.
Apologies.
Well, what do you
you know-
expect from an unch? You know what I mean?
There's a really,
I'm gonna get that on a T-shirt just for you.
there's a really good suggestion down here, but I
Yep.
think Ben's probably put this in.
Right.
A cyberpunk Blade Runner type world.
Yes.
Makes me laugh.
Yes, that would work. But
If someone makes my Walking Dead game,
yeah, but none of that compares to doing a tabletop version of Big Trouble in Little
hell yeah.
China. And I've got to say, it just blew me away.
yeah,
Imagine the fun you will have painting that, Lloyd.
yeah.
Yeah, it's there's just so much opportunity for color and
There's that much detail in it. As soon as you start
Pizzazz.
putting some weather inspiration stuff onto that, it's gonna really pop.
the only thing I want them to do is I want them to get some green kind of perspex and clear perspex and stuff like that, and do the windows and do jade, emerald dragons and things like that, all etched into the windows.
Well, you see, if you did
and pop
that
the
for
window pieces in.
some of the signs, you could start doing the neon signs, which could be quite cool as well.
It's fabulous.
If
Absolutely
someone-
fabulous.
Nice job, guys.
If
Very
you do
nice
a Big
job.
Trouble in Little China game, though, you obviously have to have a dice roll where you roll it and go, it's all the reflex.
It's all in the reflexes.
and you have to put lipstick on to play the game.
Yeah. You could just have so much fun with it.
Oh yeah.
It's, do you know what? I'm going to watch that. That's going to be my Halloween movie of choice. Is going to be Big Trouble in Little China.
I think I'm going to join you in that.
Yeah, that's going to be my... Do you know what? You're welcome to join us virtually. Our Halloween movie of choice this year, Big Trouble in Little China. It takes us right back.
So are you going to live stream your reactions to it or something?
No. If he's watching that, I'm going to subject my other half to that too.
Yeah, I think it's time to watch
I'll just quietly sit down on my own and just...
Right, we have more news. Season 6 has kicked off from Dreadball.
Yeah.
Justin, you have some info for us on that?
Yeah, basically they're introducing a lot more teams, but the interesting one is they've done a Judge Dredd referee.
Yes, that's another one of them.
It's funny you've picked up on this straight away because this is the bit I didn't like.
Yeah.
I don't think you necessarily need to do all these crossovers from game to game.
You don't think gamers going to enjoy standing across the Dreadball pitch from each other going, I am the law?
I don't think they needed it. I think Dreadball was a good enough universe in its own that they didn't need to drag in a
I don't
Judge
know.
Dredd
They're doing a lot more characterful stuff because you're getting a lot of MVPs with this.
You know, the crossovers are always a bit of a tricky one, right? Because crossovers, they are a lot of fun, and Dreadball is a very fun game. But, you know, I think now Mantic will probably be definitely getting to the stage where, you know, the intellectual, the IP of the Warpath universe, now with the upcoming launch of Warpath 2.0, you know, they're now getting to the stage where they're going to have to, you know, really tighten it up and protect it. Because, you know, when you start to get into a game, you know, and you start to immerse yourself in a game.
Yeah, go back to the Judge Dredd
danger. The danger is with crossovers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is it forcefully kind of pulls you out of the immersion.
Yeah. That isn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I can live with it.
Well, yes.
I can quite happily live with that.
Until now, it's good. It's fun. It suits Dreadball. But remember that Dreadball is now, you know,
it's an established universe.
It's very much part of an established universe.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know a lot of people like the crossover stuff, but all I'm saying is you got to be careful with that stuff because you know when you're it's a very delicate thing crafting a universe.
I suppose.
You know, and you want to make sure that you don't.
Well, let's see some of the other miniatures, and you'll see why I think they don't need to be doing this.
All right, well,
you'll see some of the other funky stuff.
You've got the MVPs coming in. You'll love this guy. You've got the big shark dude.
He basically is the Sharkarosaurus. I need that.
And then
I need that mini in my life.
What is that? Chovar? I think you would pronounce that.
Chovar, yeah.
Yeah.
What are all those dangly bits, Justin?
That's just tentacles.
All right,
that is just tentacles. We then have the ADA-LORANA team, I think.
Good luck with that.
The ADA-LORANA, are they watermen?
They look to be some form of primordial slime.
Oh, it's like
and they've got some kind of ghost dreadballs on here as well.
I really like those.
Yeah.
Do you know why I like those?
Do you know what they're like?
No painting.
Do you know what they're like?
Get.
Oh, what's the movie where they're under the water and like the water creature comes into
the abyss?
The abyss. Yes.
Wow, I actually caught one.
On fire!
I caught one for once.
You did well. I really like those.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that there's no painting involved in that.
You see, even if you throw a little wash onto them just to bring out some of the details, just a nice blue wash.
Maybe I would be very delicate with the blue wash because, you know, it's I don't want them to look washed.
I'm guessing they just come in that blue color there.
Yeah, so they'll come in that kind of
That's
a resin.
what I'm saying. We also have another couple of teams here. So we've seen Judge Dredd, but we've also got the CRYSTALLAN team.
The CRYSTALLANs are really cool.
Yeah, which are sort of like a rock crystal-like man, which is very, very nice.
But this is what I'm loving about the whole Warpath universe, the diversity in it. You know, it's already, as you know, reaching the diversity of, you know, kind of things like Star Trek and Star Wars. Okay, they're very, very diverse in terms of the things. But, you know, Mantic aren't holding back.
Oh yeah, they're not just saying, there's 3 or 4 alien races.
No, I get what you're saying. This is starting to feel as
there's a lot of
it's
alien
starting to
races
feel
out
as
there.
diverse as 40k when it comes to alien races and stuff.
It's more diverse.
Possibly
more. Yeah, it's more diverse than 40k is.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. And remember, they're not all armies. Yeah. A lot of them are just kinds of...
they're smaller colonies of alien life forms which have been folded in.
This is my favourite. When you see this?
KORIS, the MVP, is just...
Yeah, the KORIS MVP and team are really
Look at that gaping maw.
Yeah,
it's just
really dark and gritty, nasty guys.
I found my Dreadball team. This is it. This is the one.
The KORIS guys are brutal looking though, aren't they? And look at all those extra arms. you can see why they're
built for Dreadball right there.
You know, it's,
and then
I think they'll make an amazing Warpath army in their own right.
Yeah.
Well,
or mercenary faction.
as they stand, if I bring it up, don't change the picture.
Yeah,
you can just say that all those things are weapons to shoot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they could all be swapped out with weapon systems and stuff like that.
Course.
Just
and then I've saved what I think is the best for last, because there's two MVPs that I really love. Say hello to CRYPT and
Krastivor. I like Krastivor.
It's a big, nasty spider mech on the Dreadball pitch. How can you not love this?
Spider mech.
And then
Spider mech.
I don't know.
Spider mech.
Does whatever Spider mech wants to do.
CRYSTALLAN mixed in with Swamp Thing, I think.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's very, very cool. I'm really impressed with these.
It's kind of shapeless, but it's got that kind of
I don't know, it's cool and all, but definitely.
I like the dude crouching in front of him, actually.
Oh, the monk?
Yeah, let's do that.
Bring it up fully. I like the little monk in front of him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's very cool.
You know, but Dreadball is, you know, it's a fun, energetic game in that respect.
And it's an easy drop into the universe. You know, how much do I need to understand about this universe? Well, here's a future sports game. Here's some of the races. Go nuts. Build from there.
But there's so much of the character of the Warpath universe now already wrapped up in Dreadball. Like you look at, you know, it's got the big corporate prize fund WWF kind of matches and stuff like that going on. But it also has that backstreet stuff where people are dying.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and they're getting killed, and there's betting and stuff like that going on. You know, it really does capture it. And that's why I love it as an entry point for all these races. I think the Mantic are doing a great job pushing all the races into it. And then from that, they will see what hopefully will stick and will start to make its way into factions that are, you know, fighting over resources
so
in the
makes a nice
Warpath universe.
proving ground for races.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. What was your favourite one? The little green dude, Schnoofel, was it?
Schnurfler, he's a little cuddly little guy. I like him. So.
But just before we move on, so some of this stuff, if not all of it's available for pre-order at the minute.
Yes.
And supposedly arriving sometime in October, is it?
It should be out by now. It should be out end of October. So, you know, you should be.
Yeah, because this is the end of October.
You should be fit to get a lot of that. So, but there's rules for giants, and then you've got the Judge Dredd referee, which, you know, crossovers are cool. People have been doing crossovers. You look at comic books.
Yeah.
You know, comic books have been doing crossovers for years.
Oh yeah.
But in comic books, it's kind of. That's what they do.
Yeah, but maybe
why can't this be what they do?
Because it's a separate universe.
So, comics do it.
Superman, Batman,
Wolverine and Deadpool.
No, but Superman and Batman are all supposed to be in the same universe.
Always? Were they always in the same universe?
I am quite sure that somewhere along the lines, Marvel and DC will have teamed up to do at least one crossover between the two universes.
You know, it's Thor and the Avengers. You know, it's there's a lot.
Yeah, don't DC and Marvel crossing over?
Somewhere out there, anybody who's big into the comic.
Thor's Marvel and the Avengers are Marvel.
Yes, he's saying DC and
Marvel crossover.
Oh, I'm sure there probably
somewhere along the lines
sure
in history. There's at least one.
There's got to be something.
If you know your comic books really well, push below for me.
Let me put it this way, right? Let me put it this way: the new Star Wars movie is going to come out.
Yes.
How would you feel if Judge Dredd popped up in the middle of it?
That's different.
Why is that different?
It's a movie.
No.
I've never seen it done in a movie. There is an established thing that you can do it in comics.
Yes, but this isn't comics. This is a game. He has a point here.
Oh well.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
There, you could, as I see it, there's two trains of thought. Okay. You can either go down the path of saying, well, look, you know, you're trying to develop a universe and get people to fully invest in the universe. If you're doing stuff like that, you run the risk of.
Let's take Games Workshop. Have you ever seen Games Workshop go, we must throw something into our universe?
No. But then Games Workshop don't talk to anybody.
But hang on. Mantic had already done a Mars Attacks team for Dreadball.
Yes.
I have seen a comic book cover where Judge Dredd is beating up a Martian from Mars Attacks. Therefore, he exists in their universe. Therefore, he can exist in the Dreadball universe.
That's a
logic.
That's a point well made.
Logic.
That's a point very well made.
Yes, but I'm not keen on the Mars Attacks army in Dreadball.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think they needed to necessarily do that.
But they're an alien race.
I know it's fun and all, but I'm just saying it's kind of got to the point where they've developed such cool creatures as we've talked about in races and stuff.
Fair enough.
do they really feel they need to do that?
Yeah, it's maybe time to let that IP start to breathe and to develop its own.
You have to remember, you've got Ronnie
footprint.
Renton at the head of this, and eventually Ronnie's going to look at it and go, man, that's going to be so cool. Off you go.
Yes, Ronnie does do what's cool. There's no doubt about it. He does do what's cool. But
I tend to agree with him.
This is one to throw out. Put in the comments below. What your views on this are.
Are crossovers a cool idea? Or if you've got a great piece of IP, do you want to start protecting it so that you can really kind of encompass it and not
it's an
feel
interesting discussion
pulled out
point.
of it? Maybe it's just me, but then I'm a bit that way.
Yeah.
On the topic of Games Workshop and crossovers, we have now seen a ton of stuff related to Betrayal at Calth. It's the new Horus Heresy board game
set in 30th millennium.
Set in 30K.
So this is the realization of all this, all
the rumors that
all these sprues and stuff we've been looking at, and we've been talking about what sort of box set it's going to be.
Yeah. So we saw
this
sprues.
Is the beast.
Yeah, we saw sprues months back.
Yeah, I now have nice high-res versions of them. If you care to see them.
Yes.
So
ta-da!
In this board game, you get 30 tactical marines in Mark IV armor. Yep. You get 5 Cataphracti Terminators. That's the very early kind of like, is it like Mark I kind of Terminator armor? It's very early anyway.
You're also getting that Contemptor pattern Dreadnought, which we've been waiting for to come out in plastic for years.
It's
there.
We've got a picture of the.
I have the sprue.
Yeah.
Which is a nice close-up of it, so you can see it's got its assault cannon, it's got its twin-link melta, it's got its power fist.
It's a las cannon and close combat.
No, it's not las cannon because that's melta. That's assault cannon.
All right.
And that's power fist.
All right.
So that's what it's coming with.
Nice.
So,
ta-da. And then there's chaplains and stuff like that.
But maybe that's just one option for it.
That's what's on the sprue.
Do we have any pictures of the actual
the board? Of course.
Yes. No.
This is really the only picture to look at this point.
But
you just bring it straight into on this.
No, this is where the whole thing goes, ooh.
It looks so cool.
Well,
I think it looks cool, apart from the Dreadnought, because he's really upright looking.
I don't know, I can live with that. To have a plastic Contemptor, I can live with that.
Compared to the Forge World one, he's really upright. Just sort of static looking.
At the moment, we don't really know what the price of this is. There's talk of it being £90. I've heard talk of it being £120. I do know that if you went and tried to price all this up on Forge World, you'd be looking at about 300 quid
at
or
least,
for
at the very least.
Stuff.
Because if you think, if this is the full-on board game, you're getting 2 sides in here. So that's a lot of plastic.
There's an awful lot of miniatures, though, to use in a board game.
Well, I think it's going to be along the lines of, do you know Execution Force, that kind of assassin-based game? I had heard that Workshop were going to be working on more of these, doing more of these kinds of board games that use the existing miniature lines.
Is this the current equivalent of the old specialist games, only staying in the universe?
What you're witnessing here, I think, is the launch of Horus Heresy in plastic as a third range for Games Workshop.
And it'll grow out of this,
Yes, it's going to grow out of this.
Into a proper full-on war game.
The thing is, there's not enough there in plastic today for them to launch a full-on war game.
Yeah.
So they can't come out and say, here you go, here's the Horus Heresy war game.
Here's the full thing.
The reason being, there's a ton of it, of everything you need is all sitting in resin in Forge World. And they understand that they can't go full-on mass market with that. Forge World has a very particular
And the other
market.
good thing about that is then this is not going to be a limited run.
No, apparently not.
If this is a proper lead-in to the universe, it's not going to be another Space Crusade and just pop up. Or not Space Crusade.
Space Hulk
can just pop up and disappear.
Now, I could be wrong. There are reasons why Workshop may not go down the route of launching the whole Horus Heresy in plastic as a third range.
Yeah.
The reasons for them to do it, well, we know how popular it is.
Oh yeah, so many people moved from 40k to 30k.
It's a huge piece of IP in many respects. Far better and far better written about than what's happened in the 41st millennium.
And there's that meat that you can be progressing through it.
There's also the end of the whole Hobbit and Lord of the Rings license now. It's now effectively over. There's nothing there. So there are reasons why they may want to fill a gap. However, there are also risks involved in that. And one of the key risks, as I see it, and this may be the reason why it's a self-contained board game and why it may never move beyond the self-contained board game, is there is a huge risk of them cannibalizing 40k.
Yeah, you fracture your own audience.
Aye, cannibalizing 40k, but you're also cannibalizing the miniatures that Forge World can make.
I don't think they'll be so concerned about that as concerned about cannibalizing 40k.
I know exactly what he's saying, because I'm looking at it and going, what I'm thinking, should I get back into 40k? No, I think I might just play this 30k game instead and forget 40k.
Yeah. There's that.
And then they've got 2 trains of...
Yes.
But then it might also sell more stuff, because you could have 40k players going, I've collected as much 40k for the army that I like. Oh, there's the army I like again, sort of. Well, I suppose...
Well, the other thing is, if you're playing with this, there's nothing to stop you playing with those miniatures in 40k.
If the company has been hemorrhaging lots of 40k players because they find the current style of 40k and stuff, not realistic enough, not as with that gritty realism that, for example, Forge World has. Perhaps this is their attempt to try and win back players that have hemorrhaged, that have maybe just went to Forge World and are buying bits and pieces and stuff like that. I'm trying to bring them right back into the fold. But like I said, you do not underestimate that danger of releasing a product that its only competitor is your product, and you end up cannibalizing further a product that is maybe already suffering some market shrinkage in the first place. You could end up accelerating that shrinkage.
You're just robbing Peter to pay Paul.
In a respect, yes, but what it actually does is it puts you under far more pressure than before, because if you have this number of people buying the product from one range, you know that there's a certain number of each particular product you're going to be able to sell, so therefore your manufacturing and stuff is based around those numbers.
So here's how many people are buying, here's how much I need to make.
Yeah, but if you start to eat into that, remember, your manufacturing costs don't stay the same. You're now supporting 2 products, so you've double the manufacturing products. But if you're not winning new customers with this, and mostly you're just cannibalizing your existing customers, you're putting yourself under a lot of cost pressure there. So it'll be
interesting to see what happens.
It's a fascinating move. Second fascinating move of the year after Age of Sigmar. This one is a biggie, though.
The thing about this
real biggie.
Is this makes me feel warm inside.
Yes, I feel warm inside.
I look at this and I said Space Crusade by accident earlier. The reason I said it is because it's giving me that warm sort of feeling I got as a kid when I looked at the Space Crusade set.
I am glad to see Workshop pushing back into the specialist games.
You see, the thing is, right, if you're trying to get into 40k, and you walk into a shop and they go, how do I get into playing this game? Well, you have to buy this, you have to buy that, you have to buy that, you have to buy that. Who do I play it with? Oh, well, they'll need to buy this, and they'll need to buy that, and they'll need to buy that. This gives them something where someone walks in and goes, this looks amazing, how do I start it? Buy this, play that, and if you like that, move on and start playing all that.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I've got to say, this will be like hen's teeth for a while. Even if it's not limited, this is going to sell out and sell out and sell out. It just has everything that a pent-up aggression in the market has been looking for. We've been crying out for something Horus Heresy based now for 2-3 years. That the whole desire in the marketplace has been building up. We now have it. A lot of people are saying, but the miniatures all look they don't look dynamic and stuff the way Age of Sigmar does. Oh, please, we don't want that. I want what we're seeing here. What you have here are the basic templates for creating so many of the legions. So although at the moment we have the Word Bearers and the Ultramarines in this, who ultimately had that massacre on Calth, but what we actually have is the beginnings of any of the legions.
So we could play the Estevan Drop Massacre.
Yes. Yeah, you just buy a ton of them.
That would be a beautiful game to play, though. Just having that massive swathe of virus bomb planet.
Now there is a transfer sheet in the box. Which has the transfers all beautifully labeled and stuff. For the Word Bearers. These are the ones for your Terminators. These are the ones for your attack squads. These are the ones for the Contemptor.
Yeah, which makes me again think this is their thing to push to new people who don't know any of this.
And I cannot wait to play the game. I've saw some of the cards in the game.
So here
where they're referencing like the left leg of the Contemptor and stuff like that. So clearly, this is something that we haven't seen before. There's whenever you're doing damage, you're maybe drawing cards and stuff like that to see where you've done some damage. And
then you've got the custom dice set in here as well, which will be quite cool.
Now that takes me right back to Space Crusade, where you had the custom dice.
Wait, let me just rub my tummy again.
Yeah, it is a real warm feeling inside. It's I think it's just such a nice product.
Yeah. It's actually having unit cards.
Yes.
Is going to mean no big heavy codexes. Because that is one thing that always caught me when I was playing 40k. Big heavy codexes that I was constantly having to go back and leaf through and refer for special ones.
How dare you? Those codexes are beautiful. Anyway.
No, but that was one of the hitches I had with 40k.
But I was talking on the 40k Charted show with AJ, and before I had seen a lot of this, and I was wondering, would they go down an Age of Sigmar kind of route with this? And experiment with kind of not the same mechanics of Age of Sigmar, but some of the same principles as Age of Sigmar.
Instead of having a war scroll, you would have a data slate.
Yeah, or unit cards and things like that. So, but we see command cards and stuff in there. It's fascinating. I really am looking forward to seeing it.
Damn you, GW! Damn you! You're tearing me in all sorts of directions because I was looking at all that Tau stuff, going, I have to get back into 40k and the Tau, and then this comes out, and I'm like, I have to get into that, and I'm going, I can't really do both.
Well, I've got to say, I cannot resist. This will be got. We will be playing this because I have adored the Horus Heresy, one of the finest pieces of fiction.
Are you a loyalist or a rebel?
I'm a Gabriel Loken man.
Rebel.
I have a soft spot in my heart for Gabriel Loken.
Yeah, he did get kind of done over.
Yeah, I think that I'm on the side of the loyalists on this one. It's I just
no. If it's Loken, is that not word bearers?
No.
I've maybe got a name wrong somewhere.
Yeah, it's Loken was the Luna Wolves, and
I'm going to play red guys.
You're going to play the red guys. Okay.
But again, even the colours on this, it's that classic red versus blue.
Yeah. Well, totally anyway, I want to just put a shout out to Spiky Bits, Millist's Mediocre Meanderings, and War of Sigmar for uploading all those leaked images and giving us such entertainment in getting to grips and seeing what they were all about. Really, really cool last few days watching that. So
right, really cool news, guys. But we're going to move on. We're going to do a bit of Kickstarter after this little break.
From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com. It's time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com.
All right, Kickstarter time. And we have Ben back on the show. It was a great success.
I'm back again. Yes, I'm back again.
The talking head.
So, we have our own version of Holly. I've been calling him Dolly all day. So we have Dolly, and that can mean only one thing. Last week he said it. Invasion?
Invasion?
No, it is Kickstarter. Right. Okay, so to kick off this week, I have an interesting one that Justin has just not been able to get his head around.
This one just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, it's called Covalence.
That's it,
and this is the molecule building card game, okay?
Yes.
Now, take a quick watch at this.
In this cooperative game, all players work together, attempting to build a number of secret organic molecules before their allotted clues run out. One player takes on the role of the knower, who has access to the secret molecules, while all other players are the builders. The knower must study the secret molecules designated to each builder, and then give each builder clues that relate to their specific molecule. Each builder must interpret these clues as they arrange and rearrange the individual element tiles, attempting to deduce the structure of their secret molecule. Builders must be mindful to match their covalent bonds with like types and leave no bond unmatched. More clues can be bought by paying a clue token, or builders may submit their structure to the knower by spending a guest token instead. If the builders submit their molecule structures and are wrong, they have exhausted precious resources and are that much closer to losing the game. If all builders are able to construct all the secret molecules before their clues run out, everyone wins. COVALENCE features simple and innovative mechanics that even young kids can grasp. It has a depth and difficulty that will keep a practiced gamer engaged. Beneath all this excitement, COVALENCE remains highly accurate to the process of how elements covalently bond to form the organic compounds that we experience every day. COVALENCE is the 4th science-themed game in a series from Genius Games.
Okay, COVALENCE, I have picked the perfect t-shirt this week.
The caffeine molecule shirt.
I don't know.
Yes.
This melted your brain, didn't it?
This one I look at and go, what? Why?
It's
Why
a
this
learning
subject?
game.
What?
It's a
Oh,
fantastic
no,
learning game.
you
all
just
about
lost
science.
me. You just lost me with those
You
words.
see, I knew this game just wouldn't appeal to you, Justin.
Learning game, no.
What, the moment they said it's for children of 8+.
No. I don't know. This one, I just don't see it. It's not one for me.
Well, what is it about it, Justin,
It's the subject
that
matter.
confuses you?
It's not confusing me. I don't like the subject matter.
Well,
I don't
you
see
don't-
what's
cooler
fun about it.
What's cooler than molecules?
Yeah, molecules are amazing, man. You know, it's like molecules. They made you. You know, you have one or
Yes,
two molecules in there. You know, it's like we should try and map them out. You know, that'll not take
Shot
long.
fired.
Anyways,
I must admit, I had to watch this video a couple of times to grasp how the game actually played.
yeah. And
It-
have you grasped it?
I think I've got it now. I think I've got it. So there's the knower who
Yes.
knows what the molecule is, and everyone else is building them, and he's basically saying yes, you're right, or no, you're wrong the whole way through the
Yes.
game, isn't
Yeah.
he?
Alright.
That totally flew over my head the first time. I was like, what's going on with this game?
Yeah. Now, Ben, what's your thoughts on it, buddy?
Well, there's a similar game that uses this type of mechanic called Mysterium, and it uses the whole clue giving thing, and it's done extremely well. It was a great Polish game, and that subject matter might appeal to Justin a little bit more. It was all about people going into a haunted house and trying to guess who the murderer was of this ghost and things.
That worked for me.
Yeah. Was it age 3+? That one. Was it?
not that one. But with this one, it's I think it's a really cool idea. I like the idea of everybody having to work together to make their own molecules and trying to guess from the clues and stuff. And I like the fact that it has an educational aspect to it as well. I think that's quite cool as well.
That's one of the things I like about this is the fact that there is a big educational hook in this. I like games where you can inadvertently learn stuff, and I've picked this up from the historical stuff that we've done over the last 2-3 years now on Beasts of War, because you know I wasn't much into it, but by playing these games, I've been learning more and more about history. I butcher more than I learn, I've got to say. I will hold my hands up
you
to
have
that.
fun while you're at it.
But I have been learning a ton about it, and I like this kind of thing because I think it reinforces that whole learning aspect that as a family you can learn a bit more about it. I particularly like the idea of peptide. I think peptide would probably appeal to you a bit more.
Straight over my head.
It's one of those games where you can play and think of yourself as being much smarter than you actually are.
Yes.
I am a real scientist.
I'm a real scientist.
Yeah. I'm the extra from The Big Bang Theory who isn't actually in the show. I'm this smart.
Yeah. Justin, the only bit of science you ever need to know is the double slit experiment, okay?
This is the one where you will shine 2 beams of light through 2 slits.
No.
And it will... No?
No.
Okay.
No, this is the one where you fire a photon,
Okay.
a single photon, at the 2 slits, okay? And what will happen is it will pass through as a wave, okay? And it'll create a wave pattern, kind of a sequence of lines, as if it's a wave, unless you actually put a measurement device on the other side to measure which hole the photon passes through. And the point you measure it, it no longer comes through as a wave, it comes through as a single particle.
I see. Okay. Science.
That's science, yo!
Look who's watching Breaking Bad again.
And I think that's called quantum mechanics superposition.
Okay.
So it's I think it's one of the closest things that we probably have to giving us evidence that what we are actually living within is a simulation rather than something non-simulation.
Okay, so this is the old question of if a tree falls in the forest, does it still make a sound if no one's there to hear it?
No,
But,
it's more about the you're a brain in a jar.
We're
to be
going really
honest,
off on a tangent. really off on a tangent here.
Yes.
Let me just jump on this, right?
Okay.
If you consider the world of the universe to be a simulation,
Yes.
i.e. something we'd be running on a computer or something like that.
Yes.
You also have to take into the account that computer programs can glitch.
Yes.
So therefore the world can glitch.
Yes.
That's deja vu, the Matrix.
That's deja vu.
I'm saying nothing on this one. There's something horrible.
There's some really interesting potential theories on this about that the whole free will and the whole simulation thing is actually running on a peer-to-peer network, and that we do see those glitches, and those glitches are things that we see in quantum mechanics that are difficult to explain, like superposition, like non-locality of particles. Basically, Justin, you can have linked electrons, okay, at different sides of the universe, okay, and they're called entangled, okay, and by performing a measurement on this one, okay, you actually change the state of this one instantaneously, which completely blew the mind of Einstein, because Einstein stated nothing can move faster than the speed of light. Not even information can move faster than the speed of light.
You had this discussion months and months back, saying that would be how you would actually do long distance travel across light years.
Well, no, it was long distance communication.
Yes, right.
But that is all signs of glitches in it. And guess what? The speed of light, that might be the clock speed of the machine that we're actually operating on. So we have a built-in clock speed.
Can we overclock it then?
that we can't go past, and that is why we have a fundamental limit of the speed of light. The bottom line to all of this is it may be freaky. To me, I love it because it suits my whole hippie spiritual thing.
You freaked me out.
You a hippie?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I am so. Do you know when it comes to spirituality and stuff like that? I am such a hippie. I believe we are all part of the source that split itself into an innumerable number of parts, because the only way that it could experience itself was by breaking itself into small parts that could experience. I'm totally.
Good morning, Wargamers. I'm sure you weren't expecting this on Saturday morning, were you?
Let me just go into the glitching thing, right?
Yeah.
Because there's all these, you've got me, I'm watching all this crap on YouTube about time travelers and all this sort of stuff.
Yes.
And there's talking about like a time traveler guy who turned up in New York, but he was from the 1800s. And he turned up briefly in New York, Times Square, didn't know where the heck he was. And then got run over by a car and killed.
Oh, awesome.
But they looked at all this stuff and they're like, yeah, it is all genuine 1800s stuff, but exhibits no sign
You're
of
sure
aging.
he just wasn't on his way to a steampunk convention?
Or a reenactor.
But if you go glitches, there you could glitch.
Yeah.
He could have fallen through a glitch and
The
appeared where he
difficulty-
doesn't. Wait, and there's another guy. There's another guy. When you hear this one, I still love this one. There's another guy who claimed he opened up his sink to fix a leak under the sink.
Oh, he walked through and met himself.
Right, yeah. And he reached in with his spanner, and he couldn't quite reach, so he reached a bit further, and he couldn't quite reach, so he kept reaching, and he was like, I'm in a white tunnel, so he kept walking through or crawling through this white tunnel, and then popped out the other side, and met the 70-year-old version of himself, and had a jolly great day with him.
And took a selfie of a video of them comparing the same tattoo on their arms and stuff. It's totally weird, man.
Okay, send me this link.
It's totally false too, but
but who makes some stupid stories like that?
Yeah, but the world.
Apparently him and you.
The world is great for this kind of thing, you know. But there are fundamental issues when you get down to the quantum level. But the difficulty is that the whole thing of just because a particular thing may not exist. It's the whole Schrodinger's cat thing, okay?
Both alive and dead at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, I know this one.
It may not exist in a particular state until it's observed, and then the talk is that it's all about the observer. Therefore, in order to observe, you need to be conscious. You need to to be aware. So are we creating all of this? Yeah, it works at the quantum level, but it doesn't work for the moon. The moon didn't just pop into existence because somebody looked up. It's So, I don't know. I look at it, I think to myself, Do
you remember that creepy video I showed you of the guy who appeared on a bicycle from behind the other guy?
Perspective. You did that for the frigging Necron megalith.
It's very, very simple. We are now reaching the stage where there is more evidence, okay, only at a quantum level, but there is more evidence for us living in a freaky Matrix-like or a groovy spiritual type of split source than not. I think we're now reaching the stage where we're going to have more evidence for cool, freaky stuff than boring materialism stuff.
I don't know. Why would you want to simulate mundane?
Well, hang on. Why do people play the
Everyone
Sims?
goes to work every single day.
Yes, we're all slaves. Don't get me started. I'll start quoting Steve Hughes, the comedian, on this. 2 days, 5 days on, 2 days off. It should be 2 days on, 5 days off. And it's best.
Hang on. So long as my wages are the same, I'll take that offer. I will take that offer.
He says, we don't even get 2 days off because on Sunday, all we can hear is Monday calling saying, yeah, you're coming back to work tomorrow. He says, but if we go 2 days on, 5 days off, he says, brilliant. And he says, and what's better than that? Tomorrow, last day. So everybody would do 2 days if they get 5 days off. Nobody would be out of a job. We could share all the jobs. I'm totally on for that.
We could share all the jobs.
Hey, my wage stays the same. I'm happy.
But the worst of all of this is if you were the creator of COVALENCE or COVALENCE, only to have us harp on badly about quantum stuff that we don't know anything about.
That's why people come to view the show.
All right, I have another Kickstarter for you.
Okay.
You're going to move us on past
Yes, we're going to move on
gibberish.
before we butcher. I'm now becoming universally renowned for butchering stuff by having this kind of.
It's not exactly through the wormhole, this show.
No. I am trying to be the
Warren
new
makes
Neil
some
deGrasse
logical
Tyson.
leaps, which are incredibly entertaining at times.
Yeah.
There are times whenever we're driving to salute or something, and he just goes off on one for maybe a couple of hours as we're going down the road, and it's beautiful.
Well, it kills time.
Come on,
right,
move on.
next up we have Panzerfaust.
Yes.
Okay. This is we've talked about this a few weeks back. It's on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing really well. It's breaking down walls, breaking down stretch goals. It's inspired by World War I, World War II. It's World War II dwarves and gnomes and orcs.
Yes, World War
And
I,
troglodytes.
And no, well, I mean, it's World War I, World War II kind of.
It's a mix of the two.
It's a mix.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you want to get a little bit of a look at it, check out this vid.
All right, it looks cool, but someone tell me what in the heck I am actually looking at.
Okay.
Fantasy, World War I and World War II.
Yeah, it's a mashup, Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like World War I, World War II inspired fantasy races all pushed together into this huge war that spans the world, as you'd imagine.
Yeah.
And all the races have some sort of ties into real world countries and stuff like that. And it's just duking out in big sort of skirmish games and mass battle games. So
you have dwarves.
Yeah.
And the dwarves are Germanic.
Well, you're probably liking that then, Ben, dwarves and stuff.
Yeah. I like the helmets.
I am liking the dwarfs as the Germans, but I'm kind of being won over to the orcs as the British as well.
Yes.
I really, really like the models for those guys.
Yeah, they're really characterful. So you have the orcs as the British. You have the gnomes, they're based on the French. The troglodytes have I think they're kind of Polish, aren't they, Ben?
Yes, yeah.
And then you have the deathless, which are like demons and undead, and they're the Russians.
Yes.
So there's two different rule sets. There's a kind of like a skirmish set. And what about the skirmish set, Ben?
Well, that one's a little bit more character-driven. I think it's a little bit in the same style of what Warpath's doing, where you've got a skirmish set where it's a lot more character-driven. Think scenarios where characters are taking small squads of men to take out other characters and doing little scenario narrative-based things.
So kind of like a Hellboy type thing, yeah?
A little bit like Hellboy, like the opening of Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but there's also got the whole mass battle set, which they're bringing in all the vehicles and big units and stuff in. That's where we're going to see things like the giant snail.
Yeah, your big lizard tank.
Yeah, with the anti-aircraft gun on it, and the big lizard tank as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the guys from Hysterical Games sent me a little something.
Okay,
So
what have you got?
They've sent me this.
All right, let's do
It's
a close camera.
It's a bird!
Oh, let's go
It's a
close.
plane.
It's a plane!
So it's actually how you deploy your German dwarf Fallschirmjäger.
Ah!
So you cut this out, and I've already done that.
Yeah.
So, ta-da. And
Here's one I've prepared earlier.
here's one I prepared earlier, little Blue Peter moment.
Yeah.
So what you do is, so if I cut away Lloyd,
Right.
I want to deploy my German Fallschirmjäger.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yes.
Here's how I deploy them.
Oh, you don't chuck it on the table, do you?
Just chuck it on the table,
Oh, my turn!
and then they deploy
Yeah.
within, I believe, if I check here, it's within 15 centimeters of your glider.
Yep.
Awesome! So wherever you want to get it on the table.
You try and aim that
Yeah.
at the table and fire it down.
Realistically, we should wait the front though. So I have some paper clips to help
So
with that.
we know who spends the most time making
Oh,
paper
has he got his all weighted,
Let's
has
see
he?
if it flies better now.
Oh, very
who's the
good,
king?
very good.
Yeah,
no,
so-
I have seen this before when the guys were running the worldwide D-Day campaign challenge, I believe, here on Beasts of War, Oriskine and Chris G and those guys. I think that they played around with having paper planes as the deployment for.
Well, this you can download from their Kickstarter.
Yeah, well, it's
So it's one to go and check out, guys, because it's a quirky little mechanic.
I believe this has only just hit their Kickstarter this morning. There was
As far as I know, we're the first ones to show it off.
right. Basically, they've smashed a ton of stretch goals. They've a bunch more stretch goals that they can smash, provided they can get people in that want to have a go at it. There's more mounts, brutes, vehicles, and things like that. There, it looks like a quirky little.
And they have pigmen or pig cavalry.
Yes, you
I'm
can't go
glad-
wrong with big
Cavalry.
cavalry.
I'm
I
glad
love
though
those.
they've gone the route of having the small scale battle and then the big scale.
Yes.
I'm really coming around to this. Every game should have an easy route into it, something
Yes.
that you can get them playing in a couple of days.
Because it suits you during the early days when you're trying to get into a game, but it also suits you at different times throughout your life whenever you just don't have the time to play a big
Exactly.
mass battle game.
Exactly.
So, right,
It's
I
one
have
that I thought was really fun.
I have one final one. Actually, this is Justin's one. He's on this one. Yes. It's Stigmata. Okay.
Right.
This is from the guys at Happy Games Factory, the guys behind Eden. And what they're doing is they're bringing Eden to an RPG. So
Yes.
have a watch of this.
To venture in Stigmata, we offer an initiation set. It allows you to start quick and get familiar with the game's mechanisms and includes all you need: character sheet, scenario, dice, and cards. Hundreds of years have passed since the apocalypse, and the human race is again splitting in factions and fighting each other. My creator foresaw the madness of men and protected a portion of humankind from it. Some of my children are still trying to escape. This resistance was born in my womb, and they persuaded themselves that their way is right. I must convince them that they are not, or sentence them to death. Those who live on the outside are lost. Even water is a source of trafficking in the interest of the convoy. If it's not for money, it's for sheer insanity, like these Dante's angels. This madness was born and bathed in fire and cruelty, and the Jokers are their illegitimate sons. I will have order back, along with the values of my creator. First, to eradicate these traitors, and to prevent the samples from escaping. Stigmata is a role-playing game where cooperative takes on a whole new meaning. One player will control the story and perils. Other players will be the group of survivors who will have to work together not to perish in this merciless universe.
Okay, Stigmata, that's looking really cool. I see that it's like Eden connected, Justin.
Yes, it's the role-playing version of Eden. So what you're seeing in this is the role-playing mechanics are similar to the mechanics of Eden. So if you know how to play Eden, you'll pretty much know how to play this role-playing game.
Right.
Which I love because it means you can expand your stories. So say you have two groups together, you can actually have, we disagree on what we're doing at the end of this mission. Let's have a bit of a scrap so you can go from one to the other to settle differences within your group and stuff, which I think is fun.
I quite like that idea.
I'm build on it.
I'm going to list what's in the box, but I'm going to pick up what you were saying there.
Yeah.
You could be having a fight on the tabletop in the skirmish game towards the mouth of a, what do you call them, an arc?
Yeah, where
Because
the
this
ICS are set up.
This game's based after an apocalypse where humanity survived in arcs, right?
Well, some of humanity.
But okay, some of humanity. So you could have this scrap on the surface in the skirmish game, then get to the arc, and then next week switch over to exploring the arc as a role-playing.
Exactly. Or you can begin from escaping from an arc.
Yeah.
Because Noah, the AI behind the ICS, is controlling the humans who are living in the arcs and forcing them to live to its template of what
Only
good
to
life
find
is.
there's loads of guys outside you have to beat up as well.
Exactly. So you could finally, we've escaped the arc, we're free. Why do those guys have guns?
I've got to say, Ben, we look like we're witnessing a real resurgence now of diverse RPGs. And one of the great things about RPGs, I'll let Ben talk more about this, but is the fact that it allows you to explore a world in so many different ways. I don't want to use the word in more detail because detail's a relative thing, but in so many different ways than what you could just through a standard tabletop skirmish game or a battle game.
It lets you see objectives come to life because at the end of your skirmish game, you've hit the objective and now you're into a role-playing section. So you can really bleed one to the other.
Ben, as the big role player among us, what's your thoughts on where we're at with this?
With role playing games as a whole, or
with RPGs and Eden in particular.
Yeah. Well, the reason I like role playing games so much, I mean, if there was like a desert island and I had to take one thing with me, it would be role playing games. It's because you get to be a character in that world and inhabit that world and basically live it. So it's all and you get to do all the things that your soldier just gets to shoot stuff. Whereas in a role-playing game, you actually get to, make decisions that have consequences, and it's just on a much wider scale and on a nuclear scale as well when you're looking at, small group dynamics as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to Stigmata, I really like the way that they're choosing the characters, because they've gone with, and I think I was talking with Justin about this, and it's that they're all from different factions, so they all have very different ideals and like the ways of thinking about the world. So I like the fact that they've all got to try and come together to try and solve a problem, and it'll cause quite interesting role-playing moments and stuff.
Yeah.
That coming from different factions, that's the stigma of humanity. So that's why the factions are so different. They're all following a code, but because it's such a clan-built society, those codes are just a way of life.
Well, like the Infinity RPG, this one's benefiting from the skirmish game coming before it and fleshing out lots of different cool characters and stuff. They're able to look at a faction and go, let's pluck a character out of that and put it into the adventure. Like those clown guys, what are they called?
The Jokers. Yes.
Who are just anarchists.
Exactly, and then you've got the ICS. So say I want to raid a vault or raid an arc, break in, everything seems to be shut down, nothing much is happening, this one's been evacuated. I get deep enough in and I hit a tripwire, and all of a sudden the machines come back to life and start to hack and slash, and I'm running for my life.
Well, let me just put, for anyone watching at home who's watched that little video and and is sitting thinking, who is this freaky character that keeps popping up all over the place?
Yeah.
No,
that is Noah.
No,
right?
that's one of its soldiers.
Yeah.
Controlled by Noah. We talked about this a while back. You remember when I showed you the Eden rulebook?
I just want you to give them the gist of how humanity has survived in the Orcs. So there's the Orcs and there's an AI.
Yep. And then there's
called
the
Noah,
soldiers of the AI.
Which
who
is
are
what
the
we've seen. What we've seen in the video, watching what's going on all around the world.
Which have that very
right. I was wondering who that dude
them.
was. It kept popping on. Yeah.
You saw him in the Eden rulebook. He's a miniature.
I see. But this is one of the things I wanted to draw attention to in this is, Eden have some of the most beautiful sculpts in the market. It's like if you love beautifully sculpted miniatures, you got to take a look at Eden because some of their sculpts are masterpieces. They're that beautiful, and again, you can use those within that. And there's a very interesting pledge level within this Kickstarter, where you can actually pledge and become a model and become somebody written into the background of Eden, and you know.
I spied that as well.
I think it's cool.
But it's a hefty pledge level, isn't it? It's like about $800 or something.
If you want to see yourself in the world, you know, it's well worth it. You know, you will look at it and go, I'm in this world forever now.
Let me just list off what's the starter set you get, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
30-page rule book.
Yep.
30-page adventure book. 4 pre-rolled character sheets.
Yep.
Ready to rock and roll.
15 D10s in various colors, green, orange, and red. 72 action cards, 24 equipment and talent cards. A sheet for the management of the stigmata points. 25 stigmata tokens. 10 fatigue tokens, 4 character tokens,
and a partridge in a pear tree.
It sounds pretty well rounded out there, Ben. I'm not a huge sort of role player, not as much as you, Ben. What do you think of that that starter pack?
Considering most starter sets for role-playing games are very bare bones, that's a jam-packed starter set. That is, there's a lot of stuff in there.
And we've mentioned that Eden has some really cool miniatures. I believe, Ben, is this correct that they've just unlocked? Well, at the time of recording, they've just unlocked miniatures for this. Yeah,
they've managed to get to the right stretch goal where they've unlocked the 35mm resin characters based on the pre-rolled characters that you get in the adventure book. So you'll have 4 characters to play with if you want. You don't need to use them. It's not like vital to the game.
That's really cool.
But it's just an additional extra if you want.
And that pledge level you mentioned. Do you actually become a miniature for that?
Yes, you do.
At that pledge level?
You become a miniature. You know, the bottom line on this one is Eden is a very well fleshed out world. You know, as a vision of a post-apocalypse. You know, as a vision of the last remnants of humanity trying to break free of slavery, but also to survive against the horrors that are left after an apocalypse. It is very, very well fleshed out. And if you want to try and, you know, with your gaming group, live that experience. Playing on the tabletop is one way to do it, but it's no way near I suppose the depth and that you're going to get from playing it as an RPG. So I'm very interested to see where it is. I'm hoping that we can get the guys from Happy Games Factory onto the show, and maybe ask them a little bit more about it. So, you know, fingers crossed, we'll reach out to them and see if we can get them onto the show. Okay,
sounds good to me.
Does anyone want to pick their favorite? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say Covalence. That would be my favorite this week on that.
For me, I kind of like Stigmata, actually. I like Panzerfaust too. I like...
For me, anytime it's a toss-up between World War II and post-apocalyptic wins, hands down.
Ben, what about you? Did any of those particularly appeal to you?
I would have to say Covalence. I like the idea of the
we're
game.
On the same
I like the rules behind it. Science was winning. There we go.
Science, yo!
Science. Right, we have winners to announce for the 10 copies of the Captain's Pack for Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade. But before that, I just want to remind everyone, come on over to beastsofwar.com because we have Dropfleet Commander Weekend running this weekend. Their Kickstarter has launched. We have a 3-part little series where myself and Simon are playing through the game.
Don't we have a prize for that as well?
Yes, we do have a prize. We are giving away 10 completely limited edition white metal Scourge ships. Ooh. There will only ever be 10 of these, okay, in the white metal, and each one of them comes with a little letter of authenticity, a little letter of thanks from Dave and the crew at Hawk War Games. So if you're interested in that, we're going to be giving that away based on comments and stuff like that over at beastsofwar.com. So make sure and come over, get involved, and yeah, you're going to have a lot of fun.
Cool.
Winners.
Yes, winners. Yeah. Don't keep us on tenterhooks.
Okay.
Because there was no less than 10 to announce.
Yes. Yeah. We had 10 winners. Each of you are going to get a Captain's Pack. $120 worth of value. Yep. You are in the closed alpha. You're going to be able to cut people up with chainswords. Yep. You're going to love it.
You've got a ton of points for the Rogue Trader shop. You've got 4 character slots for as and when they come out.
Yeah. And the winners are
the
Tiki, Jester, Golonka, Cybermonkey, Doug the Fug 1644, Warrior Ban, Mark 1130, Lorgaros, Patrick 1973, and Meanbone. congratulations.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I have this stupid vision. Do you know where I go? People are doing the jammy dance.
Are you just imagining a Mexican wave of the jammy dance?
I've shoved them all in for a flipping jammy party all together.
Yeah, so there we have it. Don't forget that tomorrow morning over on beastofwar.com we also have the XLBS. That's the extra long backstage show. So it's a whole other show. I have some brilliant Kickstarters, okay, that you definitely gonna want to come across and see.
Some other news items and things.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
other bits and pieces going on in the world of wargaming that we definitely want to talk about.
Exciting stuff, right? It's Halloween. Go party. Go bobbing for apples.
Yes, bobbing for apples.
Bobbing for apples. Go and trick or treat. Do whatever. But have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you then, guys.
Humanity has been driven from Earth, but now it's time to take it back. Join the Reconquest and fight the Scourge on the Drop Zone Commander Hub at beastofwar.com. Progress comes to a world of magic as science and the arcane combine to make marvels. Meet steampunk inventors and orc mystics at the Volsung Hub on beastofwar.com.